Hello and welcome to Turn Up Beardown, the official Chicago Bears podcast. We're here again this week to break down Week 7 action, the Bears against the Los Angeles Rams. We're joined again by Matt Jansen. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me on board. Excited to get started. We are 5-1. Holy gadzooks, man! I'm pretty happy right now as a Bears fan. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty elated that we are where we are right now.
I absolutely love saying the words 5-1. Okay, that is something that I like to use as a rallying point, especially when I'm breaking down terrible reporting by PFF and they're talking about our Bears. So, but yeah, let's get into it. Look how fierce our logo is, and we got a lot of stuff going on today. So, yeah, first of all, we're gonna get into a new topic for us. We're gonna get into some trivia starting off. We got some nice highlights there from last week's game. Look at Cole Kmet making a good catch for his first touchdown. Big shout out to the Rook coming through and when he was needed. So I'm going to start off. I got a good trivia question for you. We've already talked a little bit about it briefly. Back in the year 2015, the Bears took on the Rams. At that point, they were the St. Louis Rams, and you were at the game. So, Bears end up winning 37-13. Explosive day from the Bears. Name the starting quarterbacks for both teams.
Yeah, this is why I had reservations, because I was in person watching Nick Foles struggle to throw to a wide open receiver. I mean, it was at that point where he was coming. That was after the first stint with Philly, right? And so I went there, lucky enough to get some tickets, and I was there. Shout out to Zach Kincaid for that, by the way. And was there with my brother and my dad. Met him in St. Louis, and we actually were at one of the last home games at the Edwards Jones Dome before they tore it down and rebuilt and moved to LA. So he didn't look good. Bears quarterback, I don't remember what the Bears quarterback was, but I remember thinking Jeremy Langford is like our franchise running back now. After that game, like I was like, okay, we traded Howard away. Okay, like this guy's legit, and I don't know where he is now today. He's on a milk carton. Who was the quarterback, Scotty? Who was the quarterback for that
would be Jay Cutler, of course.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I forget. How could I forget Smoking
three touchdowns, no interceptions in that game. He had a really good day for Cutler, but yeah, Jeremy Langford was the back. He was actually before Jordan Howard, believe it or not.
Oh, well, that's right.
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah, because Howard replaced Langford, and then Montgomery replaced Howard.
Oh, you're right. So he So he took over for Forte. Is that what it was?
Yeah, that would be true.
That's what it was.
I remember feeling really good about Jeremy Langford, thinking this guy is going to be the new stud running back, and then he was gone immediately after that. So, all right, what's your trivia question for this week?
My trivia question is, who was the first Bears receiver to have 1,400 receiving yards, or to have 1,400 receiving yards in a season?
Ever?
Yep, the first Bears receiver to have 1,400 receiving yards in a season.
Can you give me a year? Do you know what year it was? I don't know if that's fair, because if I know the year, I'm probably going to know who it was.
Yeah, you're an expert over here. So all I'm going to say is not a big name. Didn't go anywhere after. He was a huge receiver, one of the bigger ones we've had. It absolutely exploded onto the scene as either a rookie or a second-year player, and then we never really heard from him again.
I think you just gave me some help. Was it Marcus Robinson?
Yes, it was Marcus Robinson.
Number 88. I remember him. He was one of the first receivers the Bears had that I can remember, actually. So he was a big guy, though. I remember just throwing it deep to him. Him and Marty Booker were some of my first receivers that I can remember. Maybe Curtis Conway in there as well. So,
yep.
But yeah, dang, he had 1,400 yards.
1,400 yards that year, and then I think probably Marshall. I know Marshall broke that after that, and I don't know. Have we broken that since? Because I don't think Allen Robinson has.
I don't think so. Who was what year was it? 2000, 99, 2000?
I think it's closer to the 2000, wasn't it? Because who else was on there? Was Marty Booker or Mushin Muhammad there at that point?
Muhammad was way late. He was like 05, 06?
It
Because he
was
was
99. You're right. So
99.
1999.
So was that
And
Eric Kramer?
84 catches for 1,400. He had 9 touchdowns, and
Who's the
that was
quarterback that
as a
year?
second-year player.
Shane Matthews, maybe?
Oh, baby. Or maybe Luke McCown. I mean, I don't
Oh
know.
my
What other
gosh.
can we ramble off here?
Oh my gosh. Wow, that's crazy. All right, let's get into week 7. So we're going to LA. Monday Night Football. How do you feel about that? Bears making their Monday Night Football debut for this year.
I'm pumped. If it's not snowing out, I'm gonna be smoking some ribs, baby. I'm gonna be doing
Dang.
doing it up good on Monday. Don't get me wrong. That's only the whole country's got to watch us. So I'm excited. Maybe we'll get some more respect after this weekend. We play right.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay. But yeah, I'm excited. It always just feels great to be at that Thursday night or that Monday night game, even that Sunday night game. It's just a fun experience to, wait around, and then you got that prime time game and get hyped for it.
Oh
So,
yeah.
all right, let's talk about what we're looking for out here. So, a couple key players for the Bears. I'll just go ahead and read them off, say a few things, and you can give us your breakdown, your insight, your Adam Schefter review. So, I just believe that Nick Foles is going to have a big game in this one to really open up anything else. I've really been impressed with Kyle Fuller the last 2 weeks. He has made some huge plays. Hopefully, if he makes a play this week, it won't get flagged. Apparently, every time he hits a receiver the right way, it's a flag. But anyway, and then Khalil Mack, he's going to have to force pressure on Jared Goff, and I'm looking for him to have another big play. But Fuller and Mack specifically, like the last 2 weeks, those guys have really shown us why they are some of the anchors of that defense. So, what are your thoughts on the Bears players that we're looking at this
Yeah.
week?
Yeah. No. Kyle Fuller, man. I'm so glad we hung on to him because man, it looked like for a while that we were gonna let him walk.
Yeah, he was maybe going to
You
go to
know.
the Packers.
Right. He was gonna go to the Packers. He was. So, and I'm glad we were able to secure him. He's really turned into what I think, a top 3 cornerback in the game today. Just, and the stats would probably support that. So he needs to continue to do what he's doing. I also see a pattern of teams attacking Jalen Johnson. So is he going to be able to hold up his end? He's done a terrific job. I mean, as a rookie coming in with really no off season, not a lot of OTA stuff. It's been shortened, the learning curves. So I think how is he going to be able to hold up against guys like Robert Woods? Maybe a Cooper Cup if the mood strikes right. But Buster Screen and Jalen Johnson, I've just noticed, have really been getting targeted in our passing game. I think teams are staying away from Kyle Fuller because of what he is. So I'll be interested to see how they hold up on their individual matchups and what the game plan is there. And if I'm not mistaken, Robert Quinn was drafted by the Rams, and he played there for quite some time, right?
I think that is right. I remember him being back in those early games you're talking about with like Jay Cutler and Jeremy Langford. I think Robert Quinn was on the other side of that, and he was quite a defensive player with the Rams before. Or wait, maybe he was with the Dolphins. I don't know. We need our staff.
Getting fired after this, but so yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I don't know if like him being on that staff with the Rams and maybe being around some of the coaches that are maybe still there and or some players that are still there, like a guy like Andrew Whitworth, giving some of those little nuggets about their tendencies and strengths and weaknesses, because he was a teammate of them and because he worked, he's going against them every day in practice. I wonder how much that he's going to share, with guys like Khalil Mack Hicks, Bilal Nichols. Like, I wonder if, he's kind of that, guy that will help us with a little bit of insight, little tiny things that can make a big difference. All the attention is going to be on Khalil Mack, just like it will be Aaron Donald. And so, can Robert Quinn, has he really busted out yet? I would say no. I would say,
No.
and it's still early, and I do think he's made some impactful plays, but he has not had a statement game. And I think what better game than against your old team on Monday night than to have 2 sacks, maybe get us a strip, flip the field.
Yeah.
So I know it's kind of opposite what you got, but I think I do think that again he's going to get one-on-one matchups because the pressure is going to. I mean, everyone's going to focus on Khalil and Akeem, and that's going to free him up. So how's he going to do in those individual matchups as well as Buster and our boy Jalen?
Right.
And listen, Nick Foles is our offense is in the bottom half of yards per game right now, passing. Uh, but the good side, we are the sixth. We're in the top six for completion percentage.
There you go.
And so the other anomaly I'm looking at is we are top. We're number 2 in the NFL in rush attempts, yet we are in bottom 5 in yards rushed per game.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been preaching David Montgomery's name, but I don't think it's just him. It's just I think the bigger problem is our line. But we can confirm you are correct. Robert Quinn was drafted by the Rams in the 2011 draft. He was pick number 14. He did play for the Dolphins for a year before playing for the Cowboys last year. So
Yeah,
yes, he is trying to pay back his old team here.
yeah,
Um, let's go into it with the Rams here. So Aaron Donald, outside of Khalil Mack, one of the most, maybe even more than Mack, most. Man, I'm really struggling with my words here. The strongest defensive player in the league. He's just a force to be reckoned with, and when he plays well, his defense plays very very well. So we'll obviously have to be guarding him. Hopefully, we're not getting just completely pushed against the line. It might
yeah.
might make it hard for our run game to really get going. Cooper Cup is
Exactly.
definitely one of Golf's favorite targets. So I don't know if Fuller is going to be on him or if it's going to be Jalen Johnson, but those guys are
Yep.
going to have to really step it up against Cup. And then of course Jalen Ramsey, he's going to be locked up against his old teammate Allen Robinson. So that'll be an interesting battle to watch going on. So what are your thoughts on some of these Rams players or other Rams players that you think will have a big impact on the game?
Yeah, it will be. It's going to be that's going to be a huge matchup. Jalen's still a dog, man. He's still a beast. Um, it's going to be tough for Allen Robinson. I don't think Allen Robinson has drew a lot of friendly matchups thus far this year. I mean, he's a number one. He's going to always face the number one. He's always going to be the focus. Defense is really key in on that. What worries me about Donald is that right now I would say on our line, Cody Whitehair is, I really like him at center, but our two guards, we're about as thin as we are at the guard position. And that's where Donald's going to be interior. He's an interior rusher. And I just worry about guys like Alex Barr. Can Fetty hold his own against a guy like Aaron Donald with the help of Cody Whitehair? So probably a lot of double teams with Whitehair on the left, on the right. But it just worries me that that's where we're thinnest, and that's really where the strength of their defense is. So um, I would like to think we're going to get the ball out of our hands quick. Nick Foles, get it in, get it out. I think that top 6 completion percentage that we're boasting right now in the NFL is a byproduct of Nick just getting the ball out and Nagy trying to really utilize the short passing game. And Cooper Kupp, he's not really a guy that lines up wide a lot. So I don't know if he's going to get Kyle Fuller. Like I said, I think they're going to really get after Buster Screen, who really hasn't done a great. I mean, he's been mediocre. I think teams have exposed us in the slot.
Yeah, for sure.
So how are we going to handle him? Are we going to roll? I mean, are we offering any sort of help? I know probably up on that first line in that zone defense with the linebackers, but after that, people aren't throwing at Eddie Jackson at all. And they're really not. They're throwing towards Gibson's side. He's gotten more action thus far. He's turned it into 2 picks. But the matchup in the slot and then Donald up front in the middle interior is something definitely to keep an eye on.
Yeah. So before we get into the keys from both teams, I provided some images, all trademarks, all copyrights, going to the NFL. But we have that game from 2018 where we just, for the first time, people were thinking, "Whoa, this Bears team is a force to be reckoned with. You don't have to play these guys." And we forced Golf into 4 interceptions in that game, and the Rams just looked really bad. And that was a year where they were scoring at will. They were just scoring on everyone. And then last year it was you could call it the Todd Gurley game because that was probably his only good game he had last season for the Rams. But for some reason we could not slow him down. That ended up 17-7. The other one, I think, gosh, I don't even remember what was the final in that one, like 16-9 or something like that. But I'm just hoping for our defense to play well again against Golf. That's what's happened in the past. So as we're talking about that, the keys to the game for the Bears, I just think for us, when we score early, that helps the defense play. so much better. And if the defense starts contributing, getting points of their own or turnovers, that is a huge
Yeah.
boost for this offense. We got to continue to get pressure on Goff. I'd love to see Khalil Mack with maybe 2 sacks in this game, or Robert Quinn has a breakout game for us. And then I just want to see Coach Nagy, really outsmart Sean McVay. And on the flip of that, I think that if the Rams defense plays well behind Aaron Donald, that could really give them and their offense a lot of chances to score points. And maybe Jared Goff goes off and has a really good game. He's capable of it. It happens here and there. I know against the Bills, they were down 20-3 and came back. Ended up being like 32-28 before the Bills ended up winning 35-32.
Yeah. Well, and there's a really questionable PI call at the end of that game that the Rams could have very easily won that with a different call. So
yeah, and then as has been the case with both of these games the last 2 years against the Rams, or between the Rams and the Bears, turnovers have been huge. So if the Rams win this turnover battle, then that's going to make it really hard for us. And you could say the same for us as well, but I don't think they've always won the turnover battle against us. So that's what they're going to be looking for. So what are your takeaways from these keys to the game?
Yeah, no, Nagy doesn't need to outsmart himself. I think over the last couple games, I think we've been reluctant to not potentially outsmart our own selves into losing the games. I mean, like we talked about, passing the ball against Carolina in a situation where you could probably play a little bit more conservative. Now, I know trying to put the game away, don't get me wrong. And most of the time, I don't have a problem with like that aggressive style to put away a team. I don't have a problem with that because if you leave teams around long enough, that sometimes that'll come back to haunt you. Just based on how the way our defense has been playing, though, I thought in those circumstances we could have played a little bit more conservative to ensure that we had that the opponent had less time to try to drive down the field, and score with our defense. I do think we are in a situation now where we can play in those situations more conservative because our defense, it does have the capability of shutting down a team, especially with less time. You give us a greater chance versus throwing it incomplete. Well, now they got 2 minutes instead of a minute, a minute 15, a minute 20. That's 40 seconds. The NFL is an eternity, so
for sure.
I 100% agree. Now, Coach Nagy has done some good things. We have to give him some praise that way. I think he's been more creative in these last couple of weeks. I do like how we've used David Montgomery out of the backfield more. Catching, I do think we've been more creative in the run game a little bit. We have been doing more short passing, which, like we said, was an extension of that run game. And again, Jared Goff is not someone that's going to make any plays with his feet. So that helps our defense. We don't have to worry about covering all 53 and a half, yards, so to speak, with Wise in the pocket, like a guy like Russell or Mahomes or, Lamar. We just have to collapse that pocket and force him in. And we've seen over the course of his career, when you speed up his internal clock, he will turn the ball over. I mean, it's just like Cutler. Sure. It's very, very similar to Cutler. You force him into thinking a little bit quicker and rushing things, and that's all that it takes. So, yeah, like I said, we need to be dogs up front because I think the back half is doing their job. And again, yeah, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I know that's probably my mantra all year, but low-scoring possessions, points off turnovers. So, we have owned them, and I hope we continue recently, and I do hope that trend continues defensively, and we're moving on 6-1. That'd be the plan, man. That really helps our chance moving forward.
We need that defense to continue to do what it does. So with that, let's go into our predictions. So after much deliberation, I've gone with the Bears 24-21. Originally, I was thinking maybe the Rams would actually pull this out. It's going to be a tough game. I mean, if I was a neutral fan here, I would say it could be a coin flip because, the Rams have 4 wins. They're 4-2, but all 4 of those wins are against the NFC East. So that is definitely something to bring up. And then we've had a lot of close games as well. So I hope that we're in it regardless. I feel like for us, it's probably going to be, whether win or lose, it'll probably be a 1-score game. So that's just kind of the way things have gone. If we can get a few turnovers here and there, I would say that only enables us to do well. because even like last week, at one point we're up 20-6, and it feels like, hey, a stop here or there, and we're going to run away with this one. But then we kind of give the Panthers an opportunity to come back in it. So
Yeah.
those are my takeaways. What do you think is going to happen this week?
Yeah, I'm on the other side. I'm going to go 23-20 Rams. I just I think we've mainly been on that noon slate of games on Sunday, and I don't know if we are quite ready yet, at least from an offensive perspective, to be on that big stage. And I don't think we're quite ready for that moment. That Monday night, whole country's watching you. You got Booger McFarland on the camera following you down the sideline. I just don't, quite frankly, I don't know if our offense and our offensive group is there yet to be able to handle that big stage. So I'm going to say that we're going to lose 23-20. I hope I'm wrong.
Booger's back in the studio.
What's that?
He got booted off Monday Night Football.
Well, thank God, because it was pretty awful. I mean, Captain Obvious had to retire at some point.
Yeah, one of my aunt, she actually called ESPN, and she talked to them for waited 2 hours to try to get Booger off of Monday Night Football. That's just a little insider story
No way.
there. They're Packers
No way.
fans. Yeah, she's a Packers fan, but she called in and was like, it was hilarious actually. She's like, Booger McFarland is just so bad, you got to get him off this show. So he actually replaced Tom Jackson on
he did with Boomer.
NFL
You're right.
Primetimer. Yeah, which honestly one of the best shows of my life when I was a child.
I know. We grew up watching that stuff, but I don't know if the last time I've watched it, honestly.
Me either. All right, but hey, another great week. Looking for a big win. But we know it's going to be tough. Should be fun, though. It's a Bears game. And remember to subscribe, turn up, bear down. You guys all have a great week. And again, don't forget to bear down.